Today I will be showing you what I have on my iPad, as well as a few hacks to increase productivity or get the most out of your iPad. My specific iPad is the iPad 9th generation. Let me just get it out of the case. It is the space gray Wi-Fi only version, and it has 64 gigs of storage. I know that 64 gigs is not a lot these days, but the things that I use my iPad for, they don't really take up a lot of storage, and I've never actually had a lot of problems regarding storage on my iPad other than when I used to edit my videos on it. Before I got my MacBook, my iPad used to be my holy grail. I used to edit my videos in here, I used to study here, I used to do all the website search in here, I used to edit thumbnails, which I still do. The 9th generation is not that different from the 8th, but when the 8th generation came out in 2020, I must have watched every single video on YouTube with the unboxing and stuff. I wanted an iPad so bad. When I finally got this around 2 years ago, I was the happiest person on earth. So for my iPad, I have this basic case. Like it doesn't have any brand name on it, but it's still doing its best. It gets the job done. And I have the ESR screen protector on my iPad. It even came with a guiding tool. So I have this Apple Pencil dupe. It is a fraction of the Apple Pencil's price. It doesn't have the awkward charging situation on this one. It charges by USB-C, and this thing right here, it comes off like so, and you can charge your pencil like this, and when you want to use it, you're gonna double press in here. It's gonna turn on, and it's gonna be indicated by this light. Yeah, all done with the accessories and everything outside. Let's go inside the iPad. I got this wallpaper from TikTok. I'm gonna leave the creator's handle in here. This is downtown LA. Going into my home screen, it's pretty basic, I wanna say. The dock is pretty much the default one because I have never taken out the default apps out of it. And you have this line in here in the dock. To the left of the line are the default apps on the dock, and on to the right, it's the apps that have been used recently. In the dock I have messages. I can only iMessage from my iPad because it's not cellular. If anyone's doing professional work only through their iPad, it can be helpful, but for a person like me who only uses his iPad for entertainment and streaming, it doesn't really make sense, So I have my messaging in here. Safari, I don't use Chrome. Apple Music, I used to have a membership, now I don't. I also use the default mail app, so it's there. And the calendar icon actually across all Apple devices actually shows the date, so that's pretty helpful. Right next to that I have photos, and next to that I have notes. I use notes so much, actually. I have a lot of notes in here. Look at this. It's gonna be blurred out, but you can get the gist of it. Settings, Duolingo, Pinterest, these are all apps that have been used recently. And this little icon with all the apps combined, it's actually the library. So you press on that, or you can just swipe through your pages and it's gonna come up. At the top right I have the widgets, pretty important, and this is actually a smart stack or maybe a dumb stack, I don't know. I have my reminders in here, my emails, and the weather right again. Right next to that I have my lovely little mom. These photos refresh every hour or day, I think. It's really not a necessity, but it's nice to have your memories, your family right on your computer screen or device in general, which you use a lot of times. So I have my FaceTime, which I only use to call my sister and my aunt. Files, where I store a lot of things. The reminder and camera. And below the weather widget I have the calendar. So even though the app icon itself tells the date, having a widget by itself is extremely helpful because a lot of times I forget things that I want to get done, and sometimes I just lose track of time. So having a physical widget in here that showcases upcoming events, it's gonna prepare me for the future. Pretty basic, but very useful. One of the things that I use my iPad the most for is going through the maps. I have this gigantic screen on my hands, and I can just go anywhere I want, and it's amazing. I have mentioned this a million times before on my channel, but I love maps and everything, geography. Well, not really. I just like the thought of maps and how they're like created. Moving on, I have the home app, which is useless in my country. Books, I think I've read only a single book this year. Or maybe not. Oh, yikes. I have not read any book this year, but last year I read Stardust, Greek Mythology, and Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. I really love Neil Gaiman's work. Two of these books are from his imaginations. And I also downloaded a few books that I wanted to read. I think I might start with the books again because I have all the free time in the world now that school's over. And I have podcasts. I only use podcasts to listen to ambient sounds. So for example, I have this space plane sound. Right under, I have Apple TV, which I have used only once because I got a free subscription. And I have the Apple Store, I have my health app in here, settings, and this new passwords app is so helpful to share either Wi-Fi codes or just go through your passwords really quick, and I greatly appreciate this app. On to the next page. Oh, why do I have such a great amount of screen time today? I have my screen time widget on this specific page because this is where I have all my daily used apps, primarily entertainment like YouTube, Pinterest, TikTok, and Messenger for communication. I want to know my screen time all the time. Wow, call me Dr. Seuss. I really want to know my screen time so I can reduce it if it is too much. And right next to that, I have the Pinterest widget. Sometimes it has 3 pictures, sometimes it has 2, just like now. So right next to that, I have the clock app, which is also a functioning clock by itself. You know, you can see the little orange second hand going. I have the weather app right here. I also really appreciate Find My because I love to spy on my family. iTunes Store, I think I've only opened this once. And this black widget right here it's supposed to be Duolingo. I don't know what's wrong with it, but after that I have contacts, translate, shortcuts. Back in the day when I used to only wish for an iPad, I used to watch all these shortcuts, hacks, and like videos to like customize your iPad, but I'm a simple man, so I just enjoyed it, but I never really tried it. Voice memos. Before I got my camera, I actually used to film on my phone, and when I used to film like specifically like those sit-down videos, I used to hook up my mic, connect it to my iPad, and have the voice recording in here and the footage on my phone. But after that, we have the measuring app and magnifier, which I'm not sure if I have ever opened. I have this photo booth app. Hey, calculator. Dear Apple, you took a bit too long to bring the calculator on the iPad. We did not used to have any calculator on the iPad. I used to use the Photomath app when I used to like go to school. But yeah, the calculator app's here finally. When the calculator app first came on the iPad, they also introduced calculator history, scientific calculator, or even math notes, which you can actually use with your Apple Pencil. Say 2 plus 2 equals 4. You know, it does that in your handwriting. But yeah, let's get back to the basic calculator. And we also have the convert mode, which you can use to convert anything such as currency. So it's on USD and Nepalese rupees, angle, data, energy, you know, all this other stuff. Moving on, I have the tips app, which is actually really fun because sometimes I get these tips about the stuff that I didn't really knew before. Right next to that, I have these folders. First one is the utility, or at least that's what my iPad default named it. I have AdGuard for Safari, VPN because sometimes I need to access some stuff that I can't really access through my country. And I have SongShift, which is used to transfer your playlists and whatever you have on your one music app to another. So when I had the subscription for Apple Music, the free trial, I used this SongShift app to transfer my playlists. Do know that this specific app only lets you transfer a single playlist at a time. After that, we have writing, pages, and freeform. Very useful. I use them a lot of times. I used to use pages for all my assignments, and I do plan on continuing with, using pages for my college work. Keynote is for presentations, and freeform, it's like a board basically, but a digital one, so you can just write on it add text, add photos. You can also make collages in here. After that, I have the entertainment folder. I only have what I actually would want on my iPad because I don't want to turn my iPad into basically my secondary phone. I have Messenger for obviously messaging, TikTok for entertainment, Pinterest for some reason has the best experience on the iPad. Not your mobile device, not your computer, the iPad. Just a chef's kiss. And the mandatory YouTube. After that, I have GarageBand. I have sort of like a love-hate relationship with GarageBand because a lot of times I get this motivation to create a song and I tend to do things like hardcore way. So if I get even the least amount of motivation for GarageBand, I will just grind on it for hours on end until I get sick of it. I delete the app a few weeks or even a month later. I just re-download it. This time actually it's been different because I have not deleted the app yet. I love creating these background music, or you can say instrumental for like songs and stuff. Moving on, we have the third and the final page where I have my vision board. I have showed my vision board quite a lot of times on my channel, but here it is. I know it's all the things that I want to do or start in 2025. Right next to that, I have the batteries widget. It's only showing my iPad right now because nothing else is connected. And this concepts app is really cool actually because I wanted to download Procreate, but it is a paid app. I didn't download it, but this concepts app is actually really easy and efficient because it has so many color options. The design, the layout of the app is so simple, so I love this app for it. Right next to that, I have the clock widget. Even though I have the time on the top left, there's something about like having a big screaming version of that. This My World link is for our Wi-Fi. We're connected through WorldLink Wi-Fi. And this Veda app, this app is used by schools in Nepal to like connect with their students, so we get our notifications, our routines, our fees, everything like that in here. But since I am done with school, adios. Yeah, it's gone. I have Duolingo where I have a 1837-day streak. After that, I have ChatGPT, my personal counselor, my personal advisor, whatever you want to call it. Next to that, I have this editing folder where I have Canva, Adobe Express, PixArt, and YouTube Studio. 90% of the time, I only use Canva and YouTube Studio. Adobe Express, I don't know why, but the new version is actually so laggy. Last time I used it, it was lagging out so bad. But the older versions were like so simple and easy. After that, I have PixArt. I gotta say that Canva and PixArt both have gotten greedy with what features that they offer without the pro version. PixArt especially has like taken away a few features that used to be free. Enough with the complaints. I have my Spotify. I was actually surprised that you can actually skip songs on the iPad version of Spotify without like the premium. So really grateful for that. After that, I have Minecraft. This is the only app / game ever that I've actually paid money to download. A few years ago, I used to have this Android tablet and I used to grind on Minecraft so much that I used to have headaches from all the Minecraft screen time. And I used to have like this world where I built these giant structures, hills, out of the plainland, and I did connect my account on that tablet, but it turns out you actually have to manually upload your world onto your account. I did not do that. I was a kid, and that tablet is safe and sound, but until I can find someone who can revive the tablet because like the charging port is messed up, until then I had to store it properly and hope for the best. But right now my Minecraft world is like peaceful. It's there. Finally, we have the Pinterest widget, which I think it's set on my Pinterest board called Dream. You can check it out if you want to. I'll just leave it in the description. But yeah, with that being said, we're done with touring my iPad. Now let's get into the hacks and tips. So if you have an iPad, you most probably also have an iPhone. If you just, have something on your phone or any other Apple device, you just copy it and you can paste it on your iPad, which is pretty helpful. I'm always using this feature, and after that you can actually switch between your apps without going into the app switcher. So let's say I am on Notes. To switch into any previously used app, I have to just swipe from the bottom like so, and it changes. And talking about swiping, you can actually swipe from the bottom left corner of your iPad to take a screenshot really quick. So like this, it takes a screenshot. And if you swipe from the bottom right, it opens up a quick notes, so you can type in whatever thought comes up. I've actually never used quick notes because I just hit straight into the notes rather than using this one. And the remaining corners, this top right one is for control center, top left is for notification center, and you can activate spotlight just by dragging from up to down on your home screen, so it comes up like this. And spotlight actually can be used as a search bar, or a calculator, can be used as a dictionary as well. I swear it shows the meaning of any word that you type into it. I don't know why it's not doing that right now, but you can also do calculations in here. So 2 plus 2 is 4. Got that. And you can also use your iPad as a additional screen if you have a MacBook. So you just prop it right next to your MacBook and move your cursor, and it's gonna automatically enter your iPad. Because of that, I have this little dot on my iPad. It sometimes appears and sometimes it disappears, but that dot is the cursor from my MacBook, so I really have not figured out a way to remove it from my iPad when I'm not using it as an external display. The next tip is that you can use these 3 little dots to either close an app, split view. Let's say I wanna have my notes and my calculator side by side, I can do that as well. Or I can just use it as a floating thingy. Let's close the calculator for now. And you can actually minimize or resize your keyboard by pinching it. You just have to use your 2 fingers, pinch it, and it's gonna get this small. You can place it anywhere you want, and when you want to get it back to the normal, pinch it out. It's that simple. So those were the tips that will help you maximize the usage out of your iPad and use it to its full potential. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I will see you guys next week.